Do you run a business and you've heard about holding companies, but you don't really know where to start? In this video, I'll explain from scratch what holding companies are and when you should actually set up one. This is TaxMove, where ambitious people go global. Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video. You've been asking a lot about this, and it's finally here. Holding companies explained by a former KPMG advisor plus the best jurisdictions to set up one. Please take pen and paper because you'll learn more here than from a big 410K PowerPoint, and it's totally free. Let's start from the very beginning. What's a holding company? A holding company, it's not that different from a regular company. Its main purpose is to hold and manage shares in other entities. Many people still think that holding companies are a special type of entity, but in reality, they are just regular companies like LTDs or LLCs that hold shares in other companies. So at the end of the day, it's more about what the company does than the type of company itself. So the question is, what are the advantages of having a holding company? The first one is obviously taxes. By using a holding company, as long as you choose the right jurisdiction, you can receive dividends from your subsidiaries without any kind of taxation. Once those dividends are received, you can reinvest them into another business. This is more efficient because if you live in a high-tax country and distribute those dividends to yourself, you would end up probably paying high taxes at your personal level. And that means that the amount you can reinvest in other businesses would be lower compared to using a holding company. If you are enjoying this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I create all this content for free, so this really helps support the channel. Another tax benefit is that in many cases you can sell the shares in your subsidiaries without paying tax. The second advantage is diversification. By having different activities in separate entities, you diversify the risk. For example, let's say you have a holding company providing marketing services and you want to launch a new business line. If you do everything from within the same company, any kind of claim related to the marketing business could affect all the assets of that company, including the new business line. However, if you use a holding structure with separate subsidiaries for each activity, that risk is isolated. So a claim related to the marketing business would only affect that specific entity, not the entire structure. Another key advantage is efficiency. Let's say you want to sell one business line or bring in an investor into a specific project. With a holding structure, you can simply sell shares in the relevant subsidiary or proceed with a capital increase at the company level. If everything is under the same company, the process can be much more complex and, in many cases, a real nightmare. By the way, for those who don't know me, my name is Alejandro. I'm an international tax advisor with over 10 years experience in international taxation and wealth preservation. I've lived in major financial hubs such as Amsterdam, Luxembourg, and currently Dubai. I worked as a tax advisor at Big Four firms, and I was recently named one of the best tax advisors for 2026 by Lexology. So now let's talk about when you actually need a holding company. You typically need a holding company if you plan to reinvest the profits of the business into another business and you don't want to distribute those dividends to yourself and trigger personal taxation. It could also make sense if you want to diversify the risk as discussed before. On the other hand, when shouldn't you use a holding company? Because we have all seen it online, right? Some internet guru saying, hey, just set up a holding company and pay zero taxes. Otherwise, you are leaving money on the table. The reality is, in many cases, you don't need a holding company. And setting up one without proper structure can actually lead to penalties. If you only have one business, let's say a small store, a hairdresser, or a marketing agency, and you are not planning to reinvest those profits or to expand into new entities, then in most cases, you don't need a holding structure. Also, if you are not planning to have real substance behind the structure, like people, operations, or an office, or business activity, then it can create more problems than benefits. This is especially important in high-tax countries with strict anti-abuse rules. We've seen many cases where people set up holding companies just to defer taxes without real business purpose behind it. In those situations, the tax authorities can challenge the structure if the only purpose of the holding company is to avoid or defer taxes. In these cases, they can recharacterize the transactions and require you to pay the taxes that should have been paid, plus penalties and interest. So this is something you really need to be careful with. The same applies if you are trying to benefit from any kind of tax-neutral restructuring or rollover regime. These regimes usually require valid business reasons, not just a tax advantage. For example, business reasons can be reorganizing your structure to better manage the participations or separating business lines to improve efficiency. But if the only reason is tax savings, the structure can definitely be challenged. So at the end of the day, a holding company can be a very powerful tool, but only if there is a real business and economic purpose behind it. Now let's talk about how companies are taxed. Taxation generally depends on where the holding company is incorporated. So you should look for a jurisdiction where dividends received by the holding company are not taxed. In Europe, the most common system for this is the participation exemption regime. Under this regime, dividends can be exempt at the holding company level if certain requirements are met. Typically, this involves holding a minimum stake in the subsidiary, usually between 5% and 10% for at least 1 year. Another method is the territorial taxation regime, which means that only income generated within the country is subject to tax. Countries like Panama or Hong Kong rely on this system. Finally, other countries like the UAE treat holding activities as a qualifying activities, so dividends received at the holding company level are not taxed. Also, it's important to keep in mind that once dividends are distributed to the shareholder, the country where the holding company is incorporated may apply withholding taxes. So at the end of the day, it's very important to choose a jurisdiction with no withholding tax on dividend distributions to the shareholders. Now, when it comes to choosing the best jurisdiction to set up a holding company, and based on everything we've discussed, you should look for countries where dividends received are exempt, there is no withholding tax on dividend distributions, and there is a strong double tax treaty network to apply reduced withholding rates. In our view, one of the best options today is the UAE. The UAE has a strong double tax treaty network, and holding activities are considered a qualifying activity, so dividends received at the holding company level are not taxed. And also, distributions are not subject to any kind of withholding tax. So overall, we see the UAE as a very strong jurisdiction for holding structures. Another option could be Hong Kong. However, we are seeing more and more anti-abuse rules being introduced in the country, which are limiting the benefits of the territorial tax system. So while Hong Kong can still work in certain cases, we are generally more cautious today. Also, keep in mind that if you are planning to include a US company in the structure, the UAE and Hong Kong might not be the best option since there is no double tax treaty between these countries and the US. If we move to Europe, Cyprus and Malta are still very good options. Both countries apply participation exemption regimes, meaning that dividends received can be exempt if certain requirements are met. Also, they don't apply withholding taxes on dividend distributions, and they have a strong double tax treaty network. At TaxMove, we typically recommend Cyprus or Malta when most of the subsidiaries are located within the European Union. This is because you can benefit from the EU Parent Subsidiary Directive, which can eliminate withholding taxes on intra-EU dividend payments. To apply the EU Parent Subsidiary Directive, the holding company should own at least 10% in the subsidiary for 1 year. In the past, countries like Luxembourg or the Netherlands were considered top-tier jurisdictions for holding companies. As you know, I worked as a tax advisor in both countries, so I've lived this firsthand. However, today, both jurisdictions apply withholding tax on dividend distributions, which makes them less attractive for many structures. That being said, they can still be useful in very specific cases. For example, Luxembourg can be very efficient when subsidiaries are financed through debt, This is because there is no withholding tax on interest payments. On the other hand, the Netherlands can be very useful in structures involving royalties, as it offers favorable treatment for royalty flows. As you can see, there is no best jurisdiction and every situation is different. So if you are planning to set up a holding company, keep in mind that what works for someone else might not work for you. So if you want to get professional advice on the best structure for your situation, feel free to book your free initial consultation and a member of the team will guide you through the entire process.